This was like the embassy. This was like the embassy in Atlanta, and the two of the guys in there were two of the number one student teachers of Dr. York. And so I got books from them, and it was like, come to the beginner's class on Sunday. He said, bring your Bible, bring any question you want to ask. It ain't got to be religion. It could be today's weather. It could be evolution. It doesn't matter. Just come, and it's an open forum. You can ask any question you want. It doesn't matter. And whatever we know, we'll speak on. If we don't know it, we'll find out for you. And that first class, I was sitting there. It's about 7 people in there. And we started talking about religion, and that was it. When they used the Bible to show me a lot of things that were going on, not more so about the religion, it more so confirmed to me that I was not crazy, that I did know what I was going on and what I was talking about. And after that, I was hooked. I was hooked. And I was going back to those. I was buying books. I was getting into it. And then I found Twitter. And Twitter saved my life. I tell people all that social networking saved my life. It helped propel me. For the simple fact is, as I'm getting into this knowledge and I'm getting these higher vibrations, so I'm growing further and further away from the people that I know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like because nobody is talking what I'm talking about. Nobody don't care what I'm talking about. Nobody's interested in investigating and building none of this. So when I end up getting on Twitter, didn't know anybody, and I'm just tweeting just a bunch of knowledge and stuff. I done read out a book, and what have you. And I never forget the red pill pusher, Sony. That's my homegirl. She ended up retweeting something of mine, and she had all these followers. So everybody started following me, and they was like, "Oh, brother, you on?" So I started, and I was amazed at how many people were out there that were awakened or who had knowledge, and it was more than what I had already known. You know what I'm saying? People talking about namaste. I was like, what the hell is that? I've never heard of such a thing. Hotep.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm just fully loaded. So everything just started kind of building from that, from the social networking thing, and then I started meeting people here in the city and started building with them. And it's just kind of propelled. It's just kind of perpetuated itself from there, and I've just been growing ever since. And I always tell people, because people think I've been into this 10, 15 years. And the thing about it, time is an illusion. You don't have to have it. You just need the right knowledge. You need access to the right knowledge, because once you hit the right knowledge that you get, what it's going to do is going to activate the DNA within inside of you, and you're going to have this DNA explosion of information or information, and it's going to download to you pretty quickly. But if you're kind of if everybody's talking about the same thing, doing the same thing, studying the same thing, that's only going to take you so far. You're going to have to hit certain things that's maybe might be outside the box. And then when you hit it, your DNA, the cells is going to wake up, and information is going to download in you pretty quickly. Because I was like in it for like 2 years, and people are like, how long you been doing this? It's like, it's not about time. And I never would tell anybody that, because if you're caught on time, you think that, well, you can't know this. You know what I'm saying? Right. You can't, or you're just faking or whatever. But and just in your willingness also to grow.
Right.
So I cleaned myself up. I got myself together. Just been snow rolling ever since. Just been rolling ever since. I don't know if you got any questions or anything. I've been talking my ass off.
Oh, I wanted you to tell the whole story. And I wanted the audience to hear the whole story. I've been chatting it up with some of the people in the chat room, and your story has inspired our listeners this evening. If there's anybody that wants to say anything to Mr. Sapiosexual tonight on the chat room, or if you want to get on the call, that's what's up. The number is 347-850-1062. S. Denard 98 says a very huge congratulations and thank you to Mr. Sapiosexual for sharing your story this evening, for inspiring her, for inspiring Casual Soul says thank you. I know I thank you personally for sharing your story and for being so honest. One of the things that we were talking about in the chat room was the fact that it takes a very brave soul to show their scars, to show, where they've messed up, the dirty, the ugly, the to not sugarcoat it, to say, yeah, I was on crack, yeah, I spent $900 in less than 24 hours, and I was a deadbeat dad, and and all of these things that you were trying to be, or that you were, in embodying at that particular time, because you didn't have the right knowledge, and the knowledge of self. So, we want to definitely acknowledge and applaud you for being brave and for saying, you know what, I haven't been doing this for 20 years. I'm not a lifelong student of metaphysics.
Exactly. It just,
who had a real rough start. But one of the things I would like for you, I know you've been talking, and I know you're probably tired of talking, but
oh no, never that.
One of the things, really briefly, that I want to ask you is, you had your aha moment. You had your moment of clarity, right? Is what they call it. You had your moment of clarity where where you reasoned within yourself that you were not going to go back to this lifestyle. But then you had a period of introspection. What did you come up with, or what was revealed to you about the nature of your aha moment? Do you understand what I mean? It's one thing for just to say all of a sudden, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. But then once you stop doing it, a vacuum is created, and introspection and self-examination and actually digging up the dirt, what I call excavating your soul.
Okay,
the excavation period. What did you come up with during that time?
In that excavation period, like I said, was definitely a process period. The aha moment with the realization that what was going on was when I went to the detox for 19 days, and I had these pair of red FUBU boots, kind of like a Timberland style boot. It was red FUBU boots, and that I was wearing while I was out there. And I was laying on the bed one day, and I kind of looked over and I looked at the boots, and the heels were completely gone. I had did so much walking, they were completely gone, and that was the realization of what I had been doing. And as time went on, I began speaking with people, and the things that I was sharing, I got honest real fast, real quick. And that's one of the first steps that you learn if you go to any type of 12-step program. The first principle is honesty. Because if you do not have honesty, there's no use in continuing. You have to be able to admit what was going on. And the reason I really wanted to tell this story to show people about, do not shut off your past. Leave the door cracked so you can look in there. That's the greatest teacher.
Right.
And I started, of course, I started projecting the future about everything that I had fell off and what I need to gain, the things I'm trying to make up. I thought about that, and I realized that that's where we mess up, because my past had already shown me everything that I was going to be. It was going to show me who I was going to be. It showed me that I've been a counselor forever. I've been, whether it was in the crack house, whether it was in the jail cell preaching Jesus, I've been that guy that everybody has come to, who always confided in me, who always trusted me. I've always been there, no matter what stage of my life. So as I started looking at that type of at the past, and started realizing, like, wait a minute, there's something here. I've already been living in my purpose forever. But I had to go through what I had to go through, because some people might find it through the church, some people might find it through somebody else. They might find it through a marriage. I don't know how people's salvation comes to them. There's many different paths to it. But I had to go this route. Like I say, if I could change anything, I wouldn't change a damn thing. Because I had to go through that, because there are certain people that I'm going to be able to touch. Right. And for me to be used in that space, I have to be doing that. So I started realizing that, man, I got something here. I mean, there's something I can do. I have a voice. I have people actually listen to me. I don't think I know what the hell I'm talking about, but evidently I'm saying something that connects. And that's just the low self-esteem part that makes me like, well, ain't nobody really paying attention to me, or I don't want to get big headed because I might have not accepted my past at that time. I'm thinking people still know that, man, dude, how you know all this? You just left this and that. You know what I'm saying? That stuff still plays on you, but I can care less. I tell everybody. I love telling the story. But, as the things started coming up, things started appearing to me about how far I can go and what I could do. It was just a matter of me really understanding, okay, what's the gift and talent that I do have. And once you discover that, how do you convert it? You know what I'm saying? How do you convert it? One of the questions that Mr. Foster asked me, he's like, what was some of the good things that you learned in your addiction? I'm like, you got to be shitting me. Something good do you see me? I look like I'm smelly, I'm dirty. He's like, that's not true. He said, many times he said, everything you learn is something. And I realized, I was like, when I was in my addiction, I learned how to lay hardwood floors. I learned how to do siding. I learned how to put down tile. Why? Because a couple of dope boys bought a house and they wanted to renovate it, and somebody brought me along because they knew what they were doing. And I was like, shit, I want to get paid and I want to smoke dope, so I'm going to figure it out. That type of drive, that type of zeal, that type of hustle never leaves us. It is built within us. It's just a matter of changing our mindset and being able to apply it where it doesn't hinder us or hurt us. It never leaves. So I've always had the gift of gab. I've always been a talker. You know what I'm saying? I've always been a rationalizer or whatever. And then, I don't manipulate people now. It would be so easy, but I'm not even in that type of mindset to even do that to anybody, so it'll never happen. So when I realized I have a platform, I realized I have a voice to stand on, I was like, okay, so let me see what I'm capable of doing. But it was the hardest part was letting go of the programming. You know what I'm saying? I had to let go of the programming and be able to trust to say, well, if I've been created with these special talents and special gifts, I should be able to convert them into a living. You know what I'm saying? And then it takes, I'm at that point now where I'm actually already been like soul searching with people. I've been doing mentorship and counseling, whatever, and it's been, we talked about that before, hope we'll probably announce it next week or whatever. But that for me is like, okay, I got something greater now that I'm outside of the box, because it's like, man, I love people, and I love people that come to me broken and hurt, because I know what that feels like. Now, people hear this story, they might not even have never done a drug in their life. They might have never, ever drank in their life. And they were like, well, how can I relate to the story? It's not about the external things. It's about how it affects us internally. Because internally, just like somebody else went through depression, I went through that. Somebody else had a loss, I went through that. Somebody else was angry or pissed off. I know all the emotions, so I can relate to your emotion, maybe not the actual event. But it's not the actual event that gets us. It's the emotions and the feelings that we refuse to deal with that gets us. So that's why people are amazed that I can communicate, and they're like, man, it's like you already know me. Like, you can feel what's going on. I mean, I know pain. I don't give a damn how you get the pain. I know pain well. And I was able to adjust and walk myself through it, so I'm able to assist somebody in doing the same. All they have to do is be honest themselves. I hope I answered your question.
Oh no, you have been wonderful so far. I mean, I am just completely taken aback by the power of your testimony. Because a lot of times, like you said, when we're going through things and we're in the middle of it, we're in the mix, we don't realize there is a power being birthed within us. There is authority, because, see, it's your story that gives you the authority to speak. It's what you've been through that validates and lends credibility to your story, to your voice. Understand what I'm saying? It's the thrust behind your voice. So when you speak to people and you talk to people about being hurt and about being angry and about feeling rejected and abandoned and about feeling overwhelmed, it's what makes you a good talker and a good listener. And I can say that from my own personal experience. I know that we've had plenty of conversations where I just needed to kind of let it all out, and I know that you were listening, because you can tell when someone is listening, and it is the strength of your story, of everything that you just said, an hour and a half worth talking, you know, giving us the bullet points of your life. That is where the thrust, you know, comes from. And for our listeners out there, I know that in the chat room, lots of people, you know, were feeling like, you know, this is my story. I've been through that.
Exactly.
I know what it's. Once the chat room said, you know, I dated a man that was strung out and couldn't keep it up, you know, and I had to leave him when I saw him all high and everything. Like, these are the things that your story brings out of people. You know, it helps them to come out of their shell. And, you know, as you go and as you grow, others will be brought along. And so I think it's an amazing thing. Casual Soul wants to know, when is your book coming out? And he said he calls dibs on the first copy.
Yeah, so I'm in the making of all that. I got a lot on my plate, but I can eat it all though. So I'm gonna definitely keep people posted on that. Yeah, I'm gonna keep people posted. I got several things that's kind of already in order, but I promise to definitely gonna have several things out. If not for the big book itself, but there will be other things about that I'll have out for like little ebooks or something, quick reads for people to snatch up. So yeah, it's definitely coming.
Absolutely, absolutely, because the world needs to hear your story. You know, your voice has an incredible amount of impact, as you have seen throughout your whole life. And I'm just very, very grateful that you chose to share your story with our audience this evening. I know that, you know, some of our listeners may have been expecting, you know, a real juicy kind of conversation, but sometimes you need to know where a person's been in order to understand where they're going, you know, and with the direction that they're going in. And mental intercourse is we're not just going to be talking about, you know, sex and, you know, techniques and how to get her to, you know, how to get your woman to come or how to get your man to stay hard, stuff like that. I mean, all that's great, and it's going to be all of that, but at the same time, this is real life. And we don't come to these places in our lives by accident.
Nope.
You know, everything you said from the beginning, when you were a little boy, seems to have pointed you in this direction, right where you are right now. And I think that's amazing. And I know our listeners think it's amazing. One of our listeners said, thank you, it was very juicy. Very, very juicy. And I know that you have some great things on the horizon. Is there anything that you can share with us? I know you mentioned the ebooks, but do you have anything else going on, you know, as far as any of your other business endeavors or any of your other spiritual work or anything that you have going on? Talk to us about what's now. You gave us then. Talk to us about what's going on now. You got about 10 minutes.
Okay. If everything going according to schedule, next week I'll be launching consulting service. Well, not consulting service, more like a coaching service as a life acceleration mentor. And I have this a mind metamorphosis mastery program that you can enroll into. And the name of the company is basically going to be Sapiosexual.com. I'm currently working on the site now and putting some things together. I will have, at the launch of the site, I will launch a free ebook for people to get with 3 steps. I'm explaining the 3 steps of the acronym called HOW, which stands for honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. And I will present that to people, and people will be able to set up for sessions. We can do sessions, maybe one-on-ones. We'll have group sessions and group conferences. And also on the website, I'll put together some type of seminar that people can be able to invest into that as well. And you got other little things here in the making. And I am putting together, I finished the juicing book on the health thing that everybody's been asking me about. So I'll be have that coming as well. But Sapio Synergy was definitely going to be the baby for that. I've already started it. It's just been on the down low and kind of quiet as far as doing sessions with people. with people, with clients and things, and you'll be able to read some of their testimonies as well. As far as that, I thought I had one right here, but yeah, I'll be doing that. We'll be able to do life coaching sessions or what have you. We could do it, like I say, in blocks. You could do it for the whole program. Like I said, I have all the details, but that's like one of the greatest things because I've been doing it for so long. So now we just converted it over and be able to kind of in conjunction with my project gifts. I do have a nonprofit organization. It's not nonprofit as far as on paper. I didn't want to get a 501c3. I didn't want to go be regulated that way. But I do have project gifts, and gifts basically stands for giving individuals the freedom to succeed. And with that, project gifts, we go around, we do things for the homeless. Put together, we take donations and we'll put together care packages and things of that nature. We actually got somebody's who's getting evicted. We gathered money to getting their rent taken care of so they did not get evicted. We had one family who was actually house got burnt down, and once they got all the facilities and stuff, they got another apartment, insurance, and things of that nature. We was able to provide them with donations of clothes. And also, they might have had like the home to stay in, but they lost like a lot of clothes, and they went to Goodwill and got a lot of things. But there were still some things that they needed money for. We was able to give them, raise them about $400 for that as well. And you can visit, third'seyeview.com. If you go to third'seyeview.com, you'll see pretty much everything on there that I have so far. And and then, like I said, there's definitely more to come. I built third'seyeview.com because I just really wanted a website, and I just needed a central point, and that's still being revamped right now as it is. We're adding things onto that. So, there's some things coming, and you guys will really enjoy it. You really will.
Well, we have a caller.
Yes.
I have unmuted his phone, 832-598. You are live on the air with Mr. Sapiosexual.
Peace, king and queen. Peace. How are y'all?
Raspberry Rouse.
What to do, man? I'm just calling in, I tuned into the show. I forgot y'all heard of me, you know what I'm saying? But I just called in because I just want to say thank you personally, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You came into my life at a point in time to where I was coming into the knowledge. And even though some of our bases are different, you my brother. And you allowed me to grow in that area to where I was able to teach other people that even though we had different ideologies, that we should still be able to come together. And I want to thank you so much for that, King.
Hey, brother, love you and appreciate you 100-fold.
I'll get back to the show, but I just wanted to tell you that on the app. And y'all got, y'all know I'm going to support y'all. Y'all know I already come. Y'all already know I'm coming.
Yes, what's up? Yeah.
Y'all can put me back in queue, man. Go ahead and finish the show. I just wanted to tell you that, man. I just, this is your story, so I wanted people to hear firsthand testimony exactly how you touch people, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you and I love you, my brother.
Hey, love you too, bro. I appreciate you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Rasty.
Yeah, me and Rasty go way back when I was doing my own blog talk. He saw me on Twitter. We never talked before. He said, "You got a show?" He's like, "Yeah." He said, "I rap. Can I come on there?" I said, "Yeah." That was a rap.
Wow.
That's just how that worked. That's how I met him. And I brought him on the show. I let him talk. I played his music that day, and we've been rolling ever since.
Awesome. I am always so honored to be able to be in the presence of these types of connections, this type of synchronicity, where a person's message is resonating and has resonated with other people. It's just an amazing experience to be involved in that and to be able to facilitate that, really, really does my heart good. So I'm just excited. I'm excited to have you as a guest on your own show.
For sure.
Guest on your own show. And in our last few minutes, we've got about 8.5 minutes left.
Okay.
Is there anything that you want to say, like as a summation, a summary statement, a wrap-up, a word of encouragement, of, something to uplift and enlighten the people?
Yeah. The reason I tell my story, and I wanted people to know, it doesn't matter what you are going through or what you have come through. There's no excuses. You know what I'm saying? And I like that my story is extreme, because you may look at your story and be like, why am I bitching about it? But no matter what you're going through it, so it's just as detrimental as mine was to me. So you can't take away from what you're going through is not. But whatever you go through, and my biggest thing is that do not run from your past. Face it. That everything that you need to know about yourself, every strength that you have, all the morals that you have, all the knowledge that you gain it by the struggle in your past. No matter what, relationships, losing jobs, losing homes, couldn't pay the rent, no matter what you did, you found a way, and you found a way to persevere after that. So there's no need, if you need help to call on to something, call on the strength that you've already used in the past before to get you to the point where you're at today. Take the intelligence that you used before. You don't have to call on anybody or anything. All you got to do is go back within yourself and recognize that what you've been doing, you've already had it the whole time. That's why you're here surviving today. You don't have to do just believe into yourself and know that you've already exerted that energy. You've already displayed everything that you need to know. Because everybody, I know for a fact, everybody out there listening can say that there's a point in their time, maybe several of them is like, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. I think I'm going to die. I don't know how, man. And look at you. You made it through. We make it through every time. It's just we get caught up in the moment, and we get overwhelmed in the moment with Miss Buttafly was saying earlier. But if we take the time and just look at your past, don't run from it, don't try to shut it out, because when you shut it out, you just close the school down. You just close the entire university down. That is the university of you. Your past is the university of you. So when you when you go into that university, you go back to them doors of the university, you can start picking out certain things, and you'll be able to see that. You'll be able to see your strength. You'll be able to see your weaknesses. And any weaknesses that you have, it doesn't matter if they remain your weaknesses. At least you'll know it, and nobody else will be able to use those things against you until you can get it under control and under wrap. So always go back to your past. Always look into your past. Don't live in it. Just visit it to get what you need and recognize what you need. Because I'm still pulling off my past to this day. I mean, my past is actually like yesterday. That was a past. You know what I'm saying? Right. 2 hours ago, me and Miss Buttafly had a conversation about some funny shit. That was my past that she was able to give me something about myself that I kind of quickly forgot about me being open-minded. You know what I'm saying? Me not being fearful, things of that nature. And so, always reflecting on things. Don't get so caught up into what's going on at this very moment, because it'll consume you like a fire. And you won't be able to see anything else. You'll create all this smoke, and you won't be able to see the path. You know what I'm saying? Instead of getting consumed by the fire, just gently blow on the fire and keep it lit. Where it can, either fire can kill or consume you, or fire can also warm you up to keep you from dying, or warm up food to help to keep you from starving. It just depends on how you choose to use it. So take your past, own that past. Don't run from it, and be open and honest about what the shit you do. If you do things that are, that are keeping you down, you got to admit it. You got to admit that to yourself, so you can get past that and move on to other things.
I am just like, I don't know what else to say. I got to give this my ashe.
Say.
And I think that what we have accomplished this evening, an amazing opportunity to everyone.
Can you still hear me? Are you breaking up?
I think that, I'm sorry, we're having some technical issues.
Okay.
We're having some technical issues, but can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, we're at the end anyway. We're going to go ahead and say goodnight at this point. Please tune in next week for another episode of Mental Intercourse. And we're going to absolutely have to reciprocate this, Mr. Sapiosexual, where I have the opportunity to tell my story. So many of the elements of my story kind of fit in with yours, you know, and reflect yours in a lot of different ways. A different story altogether, but a lot of the elements are still the same. So I do look forward to that opportunity. And we thank you all for listening, for holding it down with us. We're going to say peace out. Tune in next week. The Honey Pot Show, Mental Intercourse. We out.
Peace.
Peace.